Kate's P78292 for Haverhill.
Myra South.
Pardon?
Myra South.
Okay. All right. And where are we on this case?
Well, from the plaintiff's perspective, there is rent due and owing with court costs of $8,141.
8,000? Yep, go ahead. I'm sorry. Give me that number again, sir.
$8,141.77.
Okay.
That number jumped up. Has a jump in due to some property damage that's attributed to this south account.
Well, okay, so how much of this is rent as opposed to property?
It should be about 5,800. Oh,
Well, he does that math. Did you need something?
Yes, that's not.
No. Yeah. We will. Time was it? We will, when the clerks get the files, you'll be able to pick one up at the front counter. Okay? Yep.
Okay, so the actual amount of rent, excuse me, is $6,577.78.
All right. And then the rest of that are damages.
The damages that were paid for.
All right. And ma'am, do you agree with those numbers or?
So I can first just want to say this. This case was dismissed in February. However, we have a new leasing manager. So she's having me redo everything, even though it was dismissed. And we
Hold on, slow down
sorry,
for me, okay? So a case was brought in February.
and dismissed, yes.
Okay.
And the agreement was that I pay on time, my monthly rent on time, and pay an additional fee of $350 on the 25th of each month. Since then, and I was withholding my bargain. I was paying on time as I agreed to, and we got a new leasing off manager. And I guess when my son, he has mental issues and he's very impulsive. However, he was horse playing and broke a table. So I don't know if that was the factor to have her resend me to court, but I was making my payments on time. And so
Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
When the case was dismissed, was it a conditional dismissal,
what is that?
meaning a COD, or was the case just outright dismissed?
It was this, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not great with legal.
Oh, it's okay.
However, so I had to make sure I pay every month by the first or by the 5th, in addition to the $350 payment. So it wasn't like I have up to 3 months to do it.
Gotcha.
It's a COD for
It was in February.
Yes.
Give me that file, please. Yes. I'll need the file because I want to see the COD, because that's what, as you were describing it, the reason I was asking is you were describing it, it sounded to me like it was a COD or conditional order.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as opposed to you and the landlord just worked something out. And
Yeah.
just got dismissed, which would be a different ballgame.
Okay.
And so you're and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, because I'm just going kind of what you're telling me.
Okay.
The the agreement, you're indicating you held to that agreement.
Compliant, yes. The only,
Go ahead.
it was one time, I think, sorry. It was maybe one time where the office closed early and it was on the weekend. And so it was applied on like that Monday. However, I don't know if
When was that?
this was maybe, I want to say March, actually, March. However, all my money orders have been dated prior to the 5th of the month, or
I guess.
yeah, like I've been very compliant.
Well, so then one of the things you said to me is management changed.
Yes, there's a new
When did
office.
that happen?
I want to say probably in April, and my son broke the table towards the end of April.
Okay, where's this table?
It's in the game room. We have a game room. And so apparently him and a couple guys or friends were hanging out in the game room and he said he lost balance and fell on the table. However, my son has some issues. So, and I have yet to see the footage. I asked to see it. But I'm gonna take their word and he agreed to doing it. So, okay.
So, counsel, you know anything about the COD at all?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't given that, I don't even know if this office that I'm covering for today actually handled that
Got it.
particular case.
No, I hear you. I just are they on they're on their way.
They have not responded that they have brought it, that they're even looking for it. Would you like me to go and grab it?
Yes. So, and maybe counsel, you know or don't know, the 6577 in rent.
I apologize, Your Honor, I did forget to deduct deduct the, gaming table damage from the,
Got okay, but what we're
$70 in court costs, so.
that would have to come off of that. Gotcha. Okay, that's
Rent to retain.
that's fine. That's fine. How much is your monthly rent?
My monthly rent is $17.12.
Okay. So let me ask you this. And I'll see it in a moment. How long was that agreement supposed to go for?
I'm not sure. I honestly, I don't recall. I didn't think that it was supposed to go into a certain date, but I could be wrong. I thought that the agreement was just to make sure that I pay my monthly payment and then that
Then you were paying
oh,
50 on a
yes.
balance.
Yeah, so I got caught up. My balance ended up dropping down to 5,800, but it's 65 right now or 64 because I didn't finish paying, which is bad of me. But I'm going back in this judgment or figuring out like, am I gonna get evicted? Do I need to pay or I keep paying? And so I paid a partial payment for May.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here's and when I see it, I'll look at it, but when they get the file to me.
Okay.
But you were paying an additional
350. 350. Yep.
50. Okay. So do you know when that got entered into how much that back balance was?
It was about $7,200.
7,200?
So I got it down to 58 within those 2 months. I was able to get it down to 5,800. And it could be a little bit more.
Okay, so and here's the reason why I'm asking, okay? In very specific questions. if there was a conditional order dismissal, then the question would become, I don't know why I might have this case,
That's my,
right?
that's my,
Because, and that can be good or bad for you,
okay,
right? But
gotcha.
it's almost sounding to me, well, if I go 50, I'm in May now.
Yeah,
So did you, okay, I'll just ask
sure.
this,
Problem.
my question. In March and April, did you pay your rent?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's
Okay.
stop. All right. Um, okay, so it looks like it was the same office that filed it.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. And counsel, the basic terms of this are that the defendant at the time was about where she said she was. It was 77,126.78 behind. That It, I'll just read it because it says defendant to resume regular monthly rent timely as of March 2026. And they in parentheses put between the 1st and the 5th. Additionally, defendant will pay $350 by the 20th of each month, starting in March 2026, until the balance in 4B, which is what in 4B. I don't know where 4B is. I think they meant 2D, but that's okay. Is paid in full. No late fees if all payments timely. Then 56-day rules waived. Any missed payments is ground to proceed pursuant to 4B, which is below. Third party payments accepted. And that's the full extent other than the check boxes. So part of what, let's see, this started in March. So and I don't know if you have a ledger for you or not, Council. March, April, May, did she pay her monthly rent?
March, yes. April, yes. Although, like she said, the April extra payment, according to the conditional dismissal, now I don't know if she actually submitted it before
Right.
it was actually added to the ledger on the 28th.
The 350?
Yes.
Okay. And then was May,
May. May, I see a $1,000 payment, which was entered on 5/7/2026.
but your monthly rent 17?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
But because I was put back into this process, I know
You didn't.
I didn't fully, because the last time she told me I need to, for February, I have to make that, I think, a payment. But she told me to just make sure I made my March rent on time. So that's just what
Oh, I understand that, but
for May. Sorry.
what I'm. Well, okay. So um okay. So I think there's a real problem here because the notice, which was sent to the defendant in March, indicated she owed $6,405.78. That's on the current case. That was sent, according to the certificate of service, on March 10th, 2026. I don't know how they do that.
But you're, if I may, Your Honor, the proof of service I have for this file before the court today, it was served on 4/20.
Well, hold on. No, I'm talking the certificate of service for the notice to quit,
Oh,
for the demand for possession. I'm not talking about the complaint itself.
oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
So, but my point to that is this. I don't know how, and if particularly if she paid her, you indicated she paid her rent in March, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So here's my problem. In February, specifically February 17th, the conditional order dismissal is entered. That's the date I saw. Then in March, presumably at the beginning of March, they send a notice saying you owe this amount. But that's already subject to a pay, and then telling her, inconsistent with the conditional order dismissal, that she's got to pay that in 7 days. She doesn't pay that in 7 days.
Conditional dismissal.
So, and then they file the complaint. Meanwhile, then it gets worse only because while the complaint comes through, I think it's Miss South, and I don't mean to put words into her mouth, she gets confused because now she's back in this process, probably doesn't understand why she's back in the process, and pays a partial payment, but doesn't pay the full amount of the month that we're currently in. That's a problem. I'm sure his counsel can probably.
This right here is the turning point of the entire hearing. The judge is basically signaling, I think the landlord may have jumped the gun. And once a judge openly says there's a problem with the notice and filing process, the energy in the courtroom changes instantly. Notice the tenant's body language too. She's still terrified. But for the first time, you can tell she realizes someone is actually listening to her. Honestly, this is why eviction court can be so emotionally exhausting. One confusing notice, one missed explanation, one management change, and suddenly someone feels like their entire life is collapsing.
Yeah, let me, Miss Out, to get yourself, you all right?
No,
What's wrong?
it's
What's wrong with you?
just,
Huh?
just so stressed.
All right. So here's what I want you with this, okay? Um, I want you to relax, okay? Take a deep breath for me. I had to tell another person today that nothing's going to happen until I say it happens. So you don't have to worry about that because I haven't said it.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
I know. I know.
I just had to pay off probation, $700. I'm a single parent. My son just keep fucking up. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I just feel
That's
like I have so it is. I feel like I just have so much pressure, and I just was homeless. I just finished school, got my license. I know you didn't actually hear this, but it's like,
I don't want to hear it. You just
yeah, and I just get my license, so it's like everything is just keep. It's like I hate to ask, but what's next? Like I'm just trying to be stable, and I don't have a village. I don't have a support system. I don't have a car. It's just a lot. So sorry.
don't.
It's a lot. And then I have to deal with angry, mean people where I live at. Like, you can't even talk to the office. Like, it's just uncomfortable. Sorry.
No,
My apologies.
don't be sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. I don't like to cry in front of people.
Okay.
And then we're recording probably.
Yeah, but I'm probably not the person you want to cry in front of.
Sorry.
I said, just listen. Here's the thing. All right. Well, I want you to take a deep breath. This part of it right now, you don't have to worry about right this second. I'll tell you when you need to worry about this. Okay. If you listen to what counsel said, he understood what I was getting at. That they've got there's a problem there.
They just want me out.
No, just quit.
I'm behind.
Don't quit. That's not what
Okay.
it's about, okay?
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is I get why you did why you did what you did once they brought you back into court because you're thinking I'm supposed to be doing this.
This moment feels less like a courtroom and more like crisis management. The judge is no longer just analyzing rent numbers. He's trying to stabilize a person who is clearly overwhelmed. And legally, he's attempting something important here. Instead of escalating the conflict, he's trying to restore the original payment structure and give her a path to compliance. That's huge. Because once judges believe someone is genuinely trying, they'll often focus on solutions before punishment. But let's be real for a second. The pressure she's describing is brutal. Single parent, financial stress, probation payments, transportation issues, housing instability. That's the kind of domino effect that can bury people fast.
Figured out, right? I get it. So what I was trying to get at this point is, do you have, I guess, almost the 700, which really then pays your May rent? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that?
I could have it by Sunday.
Okay.
Monday.
So now here's the other part. Because you paid 1,000, right?
Right.
So you need to pay the difference between taking out 1,000 of your rent. But then you have the 350.
Right.
Would you have all of that?
I could possibly get it sometime. I get paid next Friday. However, it puts me in a situation now. I can't pay June's rent because,
Hold on, hold on,
yeah,
hold on. What is today?
it's the 22nd.
Okay. I'm not at June.
Right.
Okay. We got to take this sort of one step at a time. Here's what I'm trying to, so you know what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I'm trying to just get you back on track with the conditional order
That's right.
dismissal.
Understand.
Okay. That conditional order dismissal is my order. I think there are some things here that I might be inclined to give leeway for you to get that June in
Okay.
to get yourself back on track. Okay.
But
So what the first part of that, because if I give you a whole bunch of stuff to do here, I'm just going to be part of your stress and you being overwhelmed, and I don't want to do that. So your monthly rent is how much?
1712.
1712.
Yes.
Okay, so I need $712. And then it's 350 you were supposed to pay each month. So that's a 1,062.
Mm.
Okay, so when do you well, I'm asking you this question. I'm asking
Awesome.
specific. Can you have that paid by next Friday?
Yes, sir.
Case. All right. Okay, so here's you take a breath.
I did.
Okay. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. I need that paid to the landlord
Yes, sir.
by, can you, get it in as early as you can, but I want it paid before the date I give you, come back next Friday,
Yes, sir. Okay.
so that they have that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do so that you can get a break, I'm trying to just catch you up on the conditional order dismissal. And then we can look on the 29th. Counsel's going to have to speak to their client and then we'll figure out how to get you back on track for June.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at some point, frankly, I believe this conditional order dismissal is really going to rule the day. And so it's just getting you caught back up and then letting that work its way through.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is that, you understand what I'm
I
telling
do
you?
understand. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you're not going to cry again.
Oh, I probably will.
Okay. All right. Well, all
Right
right.
now, no.
Fair enough. I give it a shot.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we'll do. And then I'll adjourn this out to May 29th,
Okay.
2026. What time? At 12 noon.
Yes, sir.
So if you can get that in
I can't.
28th, say, that would be perfect. That way they'll have it.
Yes, sir.
We'll come back here and then we'll figure out where we're going to go. But he's got to I got to give them a chance to have a talk with their client about where things are.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what? It always gets better, right?
Yes, sir.
Just have to have faith that it's going to do that.
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. I don't think you expected when you walked in here that this would go this way.
I didn't. I was
Okay.
very
Probably, I bet before walking through those doors, thought the whole world was going to collapse around you. You just didn't know,
yeah.
right? You're walking out of here I need you to do that one thing. Got a roof over your head, right? And you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to worry about anything until I tell you to worry.
Okay. Yes, sir. Please don't worry. But yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to try not to get.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else from you, counsel? I think you get
No,
it.
Your Honor, if at all possible, could I get a copy of that conditional dismissal?
Absolutely. That's fair. I'll get you.
And the reason why I'm asking for it is because, you know, with she indicated there was a change in management, so I'm thinking that even though Mr. Bouchard was the lawyer on that,
Exactly.
there's two different clients and
That's fine.
And if he doesn't, right. I mean, I get that. I don't think counsel's office is to blame because the cold-hearted reality is the request, the demand for possession should have never been sent. And the request to file the complaint should have never been sent because this should have been part of the records that they had. So we'll get you a copy.
thank
No
you.
problem. All right. You guys have a great holiday.
Happy holidays. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Yeah, toss this.
Absolutely. Well,
Let's have a-
What makes this hearing so powerful is that it never became just another eviction case. It turned into a conversation about confusion, pressure, communication failures, and survival. The judge didn't magically erase the debt, but he did slow the process down long enough to make sure fairness stayed in the room. And honestly, that final exchange says everything. She walked into court thinking she was about to lose everything, and walked out with breathing room, a plan, and maybe a little hope. Cases like this remind people how quickly housing situations can spiral, but also how important it is for courts to look at the full human story behind the paperwork.